Speak in support of this motion, and I want to thank the honourable member for bringing this. I know that she, like me, has had a very deep, long-held commitment to youth justice and better outcomes in that area. I want to start by putting an amendment to the question. I move that the question be amended by 1, omitting paragraph 1G, 2, in paragraph 1H Roman numeral 1, omitting, quote, the Department of Communities and Justice, end quote, and inserting instead, quote, New South Wales Government agencies, end quote. 3, in paragraph 4, omitting, quote, the Deputy Chair be Ms Higginson, end quote, and inserting instead, quote, the Deputy Chair be Dr Kane, end quote. 4, inserting after paragraph 5. 6, that the committee report by 31 December 2026. Now, Mr Deputy President, we've got to get better outcomes in terms of juvenile justice. If we're ever going to close the gap, reduce recidivism and divert people away from becoming career criminals, then we have to look at alternative strategies and we have to implement them. There are strategies that have worked in other jurisdictions. There are lessons that we can learn from the important work that's occurred in other parts of Australia and overseas that we can adopt and implement here in New South Wales and that we can improve upon. Most recently, there was a report in the Tasmanian Parliament, the final report of the Legislative Council's inquiry into Tasmanian adult imprisonment and youth detention matters that was tabled on the 2nd of April this year, that looked in detail at some of the failings and the issues in relation to justice in Tasmania, with a particular focus on juvenile justice that suggested alternatives that'll break the cycle. What this committee is about finding the best practice solutions that ultimately are going to break the cycle of criminal justice system and the involvement of juveniles in it. And that's a goal that everybody in this House should support. It's about significantly reducing recidivism. It's about successfully diverting children and adults out of the risk of being incarcerated, and it's about strengthening the families and communities around them to make sure that they don't end up in that cycle of violence. Prison's criminogenic. What that means is you put somebody in prison, it increases the future likelihood that they're going to go back to prison and have a career path of crime. And the only way to change that is to use strategies that work. And that's what this committee will examine and report back to this House on.
Are there any further speakers? There being none, the Honourable Eileen McDonald in reply.
Thank you, Mr Assistant President. I thank all members for the contributions to this debate, the Honourable John Graham, Ms Sue Higginson and the Honourable Cameron Murphy. I also acknowledge the government for ultimately supporting the establishment of this inquiry and for engaging through amendments. While I would have preferred the original form of the motion, I will accept the amendments in the spirit of cooperation, because the most important thing is that this House is now agreeing to shine a proper light on youth justice in New South Wales. The Minister often says at estimates, in meetings and in public, that he and I are on the same page when it comes to the children in our youth justice system. I want to say clearly, I am glad we are on the same page, because if we genuinely share that commitment, then this select committee can be the vehicle for real change, not just more talk. What troubles me most is the churn through our youth justice centres. Young people are coming in, spending an average of around 9 days in what is effectively short-term remand and then going straight back out on again. I note that one paragraph has been removed and that the reporting date has been extended, and I would have preferred a tighter time frame, but I will not let the perfect be the enemy of the good. We now have terms of reference and we have a clear mandate from this House. So my message is simple: let's get on with it. Let's use this inquiry to move beyond slogans, to test what actually works, and to deliver reforms that reduce reoffending and make our communities safer. As I said, the Minister says he and I are on the same page when it comes to the children. With this inquiry, we now have the chance to prove that, not just in words, but in outcomes. I commend the motion as amended to the House.
The Honourable Eileen McDonald has moved private members' business number 2570, to which Honourable Cameron Murphy has moved an amendment. I propose to put the amendment first. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. I now will put the motion as amended. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Clerk will read the order of the day.